What is up, my peeps? Another week, another video, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be doing a guide to the Week 8 fantasy football games that are going on tomorrow. I can't wait to get started, so if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, liking this video, and hitting that notification bell. And let's get this video going. So first up, let's talk about some of the big QBs in this season. So the most solid QBs that you can have are Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, and more. These QBs will give you the competitive advantage that you need to boost up and win your game this week. The quarterback is one of the most biggest and essential positions for fantasy football because most likely the quarterback will score more points than the wide receivers or the running backs. So a few really good waiver wire pickups for QBs are Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Teddy Bridgewater, Minshew, and more. These guys will fill in for anybody who's injured, who's on a bye week, or even is just versing a really hard defense. And the Arizona Cardinals also have a bye week, meaning that Kyler Murray won't be able to play. So you're going to need to pick one of these guys who will fill in for them and hopefully get you a legitimate amount of points so that you can fill in for it this week number 8. So next up on the list are the running backs. Running backs are big factors in a good team. Getting a good running back means getting guaranteed points for your team. People like Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley are the best running backs in the league as of right now. Unfortunately, Saquon Barkley is out for the entire season and Christian McCaffrey has been out for a couple of weeks now. We have an update that Christian McCaffrey will be coming soon. He might start this week, but it's not fully confirmed yet. So if you haven't already picked him up, Mike Davis is the backup for the Carolina Panthers, and he is a really good fill-in as he's getting 30-point games and filling McCaffrey's shoes perfectly. Some of the best waiver wire pickups for running backs are Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Perine, J.D. McKissick, and even JaMychal Hasty. All these players will allow you to fill in for who's injured or who's on a bye week. So even though that Christian McCaffrey is going to be returning, Mike Davis isn't such a bad person to have on your team because they're going to ease their way in with McCaffrey, meaning that Mike Davis is still going to have a really good role with the team. So moving on, let's go on to the next part, which is the wide receiver. So in the beginning of the season, there was many really great NFL wide receivers. We had Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, and just so much more. As I told you before, the quarterback mostly has a lot of points, mainly over the wide receivers and the running backs. But last week we did see that Tyler Lockett, a receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, ended up actually having 53 total points, which is really insane and it's almost a record. So the wide receiver slot is definitely an important factor. Michael Thomas is currently out, but he might be returning soon. So some of the best waiver wire pickups that you can use to substitute for him are Sterling Shepard, Tim Patrick, Keelan Cole, Randall Cobb, and even more. So let's talk a little bit about the Buccaneers. So this season we saw quite a few changes to the Buccaneers roster. One was that they changed their QB to Tom Brady. Then they had Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, and starting next week, they're going to be having Antonio Brown, which means that the Buccaneers have a lot of really good targets. Chris Godwin is unfortunately out right now due to a broken finger, but he will be back in week 9, and he's definitely going to be getting a lot of points. So will Antonio Brown, so he's a very good person to pick up. Next up, let's move on to the tight end slot. So next, let's talk about some of the best tight ends that you can have in the league right now. So some of the best tight ends are Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz, Darren Waller, and much, much more. These guys will give you guaranteed points and allow you to boost up and possibly give you the thing that you need to win today's game. A few really good waiver wire pickups for the tight end slot is Eric Ebron and Logan Thomas. Eric Ebron has been a really huge part of the Steelers' offense, averaging 6 targets per game, including a season-high 8 targets in Week 7. For Logan Thomas, he has been getting many targets, and he had 102 yards with 2 touchdowns earlier against the Giants in the Week 6 matchup. That's why these two guys can really fit in for people who are on bye weeks or are injured. So finally, let's conclude it all with the defense. So the thing about a defense is that it's easier to score negative points with the defense than it is to score negative points with a wide receiver or a quarterback. And the reason of this is because it's not easy for a defense to allow the other team to score 0 points. That's why you have to be careful picking the right team, and it all comes down to who they're versing. If they're versing someone with a really, really good offense, you might not want to play them. So, some of the best defenses in the league right now are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, and the Chicago Bears. Some of the best waiver wire pickups are the Washington football team and possibly the Houston Texans. Both of these teams aren't very good in their defensives, but there's not many other choices that you can get, and most likely the biggest defenses are already taken. So these guys will allow you to fill in for this week in Week 8 temporarily. Hey everybody, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching today's video, and hopefully your NFL fantasy football team does good in this upcoming week number 8. So I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.